And I think I'm live. It's always really weird when you first start a live stream because I don't know, it's just always really weird. And I'll get to the topic of this video here in a minute when you guys join up, so I guess I can wait for you guys to go ahead and join. Okay, that thing is there, so that's good. That's good. Hey, Miles. Oh, you follow me on Instagram. I know exactly. I know a lot of you guys. I recognize everybody. What's up, Haley? What's up, Ray? The greatest? Are you really the greatest? Hey from Utah. Oh, I like it whenever y'all are like, hey from wherever, because it's kind of cool for me. I'm like, oh, the people from Washington, from Utah. Where else are you guys from? From New York. By the way, oh, Edge is here. Oh, Luke's truck. Luke, what's up, Luke? You're the man. Already with that super chat game, just on point. If you guys missed the last live stream, Luke is a pro. He's a pro. But yeah, so for those of you who are in New York and Texas, I'm planning on going to New York and Texas hopefully soon. And so that would be really cool. And like literally, whenever I go to those places, like if y'all wanted to like meet up or something, because I have no clue what I'm doing. Good gracious, there's a lot of comments right now. Pennsylvania, Georgia, Wisconsin, Rhode Island. There's no way you're from Antarctica. Was it Jose Sanchez? No way. Florida, San Bernardino, Kentucky, Colorado Springs, from Alaska. Really, Alaska? That's crazy. Chicago. I really want to visit Chicago. That's another place I want to go. Main reason I want to go to Chicago is my favorite MLB, Major League Baseball team, is the Chicago White Sox, and I've never been to one of their games actually. So, and I would really like to go to one at their home field. So, South Dakota, Virginia, Arizona, New York, Romania, really? Wow. Can we dig your brain? Yes. Las Vegas. My brother lives in Las Vegas right now, so he actually dances. So maybe if you've walked around, it kind of sounds weird, but he dances on the street, but he actually makes a good amount of money doing that, him and his friend. But yeah, I would also like to have him on the YouTube channel at some point. Like I would like to go visit my brother in Las Vegas, and that would be really cool. It's just a lot of things I want to do. It's going to take some money. So what's the live stream about? The live stream is basically about me answering your guys' questions, but I want to just touch base on the title of this video, which is a podcast. Boston, you're from Boston. How's the weather? The weather is pretty cold. I live in North Carolina, so I don't really like it being that cold that often. But anyways, yes to the podcast. And JT Suits is here. What's up, bro? But anyways, the podcast. I want to talk about that for just a couple seconds. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you already know because I posted a picture today or yesterday. What was it? Today? Yesterday? I think it was yesterday. About possibly starting a podcast. It's been something I've been thinking about, and I want to know. I'm probably gonna do it. I just want to get a general idea, like what kind of, like, would you listen to it? The things that I would talk about is stuff related to this, stuff related to fitness, stuff related to other things in general. JT Suits, let's go. But it's gonna be kind of like an outlet for me to dive deeper into certain topics to where I can really explain things, because podcasts, they're going to be a lot longer than 10 minutes, right? It's not going to be like hours long, but I'll talk for if I have something that I want to talk to you guys about that I feel is important, then I think 30 minutes to an hour, I could definitely do that. If you go back to my earlier videos, whenever I will talk on one subject for literally like 30 minutes, like it's not that hard for me to do. So no, I haven't been to Afghanistan yet. A little tip or a little thing, my little brother is currently in Afghanistan right now. James Ward, I would like to give him shout outs in all of my things. I should probably like link his Instagram or something. That would be really cool if you guys could like follow my brother in Afghanistan. So he's over there right now. I have not been to Afghanistan, but a lot of you are liking the the podcast idea, and it's something like I said, I've really been thinking about it. You know, I got this mic right here, so this should be fine. But I just need to figure out how I'm gonna get it out to you guys, basically. So, but anyways, 15 inches of snow. I'm sure I feel real bad for you guys, all of you that live up north. Like, oh man, I feel so bad for you. I feel really bad because it's just freaking cold. Like I ran outside today and it was 30 degrees whenever I was running. And that's really not that bad because it's been in the teens. It's been like 14, 15, 18, 19 degrees the past few days, and I haven't been wanting to run outside because of that. And I just feel bad for you guys because I hate doing long distance runs on a treadmill, and it seems like, you know, when you're up north, like, who wants to run outside whenever it's like negative degrees or 0? Like, I don't want to freaking do that. So I feel bad for you. All right, so I'm going to start answering you guys' questions. All right, what's your brother's MOS? 13 Fox. So he's a forward observer. He is basically the guy who, in a nutshell, his job is to sit on a hill, and if he sees in the area something that needs to call an airstrike in, he'll do the grid coordinates and stuff like that, and then call that in, and then they'll launch artillery. And so that's basically what his job is for. Working cardio in the snow is horrible. Yeah, I'm telling you. What part of New York are you going to? I want to go to New York City. So like it's just something that I want to do. Some of my family went this past year, and I just think it would be really cool. So what the plan would be for me to, first of all, I want to go to Texas because I should be moving to Houston, Texas, or at least that area later this year. It's kind of weird saying this year because it's January, but this year. And I just kind of want to, you know, take a trip to Texas, possibly go, hopefully, to BPN, Bear Performance Nutrition, to just hang out with like Nick Bear or Preston, maybe get a workout in. That would be really cool. So that would be the plan for that. So I'll stop by Austin, Texas as well. And then whenever I go to New York, I have family that lives in Maryland and Pennsylvania, so it'd be cool to stop by to see them. So I got big plans for that. So you live in Houston. Awesome. Is there any states besides the ones you talked about? Maybe Oregon? I don't know what you mean besides the ones I talked about. I don't plan on going to Oregon. I plan on, basically in the next coming months, I plan on going to Texas, Maryland, Massachusetts, and New York. So that's the plan. You guys have it easy. Our military has work in 22 minus or negative 22 degrees. They're down in the Arctic sometimes, but you guys have it easy. Where are legit trained in winter and it's easier to get injured. Noob, what military are you talking about? That's curious. You should do a video with Brad Bromlow. I think I know who you're talking about. I'm not sure if I know his last name. That would be really cool. But, do you enjoy war/SF movies? If so, what is your favorite ones? I really enjoyed Act of Valor. Yeah, I really like military movies. I don't know if I have a favorite. Most recently, I like 13 Hours. American Sniper just came out like right whenever I was joining the military. So that's kind of like a special movie for me because it didn't like make me join, but it was just like I was joining the military, American Sniper came out, and it just like made me more excited for joining the military, even though I'm not going to be a sniper or anything. But so that's that. Funny story for all of you guys who are going to join the Army. Let me minimize that. But for those of you who are going to join the Army, like literally if you wonder, like if you watch military movies after you join, is it different? And it's definitely different. I'm not like, it's not like it ruins things, but like definitely I can tell the difference between a movie that actually did their job and did their research and actually understands how the military works or the Army works, because generally it's like, you know, Army, or most movies are Army centered or whatever. So it's kind of weird, and it kind of ruins a few things, and I see something, I'm like, that would never happen, and then I'm just always, like, all the time, I'm like, why are they wearing their PC indoors? You're not supposed to have your cover on indoors. Like, that's stupid. Why are they doing this? Like, that's not going to happen. That's not a formation that they should be in. Those are some stupid tactics that they're using. So it kind of, you kind of think like that sometimes, But so it kind of messes up with some movies. Don't come to Canada. Oh, Canada. Yeah, Canada. I don't want to move any up farther north than I am right now in North Carolina. I'm not going to Canada. I mean, maybe to visit in the summertime, but I've been working out. Seems it won't go away. Why did you decide to do reserves rather than active? I've got like 3 videos talking about that. So, just got a text message. My niece's birthday party is February 3rd. Alright, so. Alright. I got stationed at an MP unit. If a slot for MP opens, do you think they'll let me make MP my secondary MOS? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, that would be really, really hard to tell. You don't. It's not really like that. It's not really common for you to have your secondary MOS. So I don't know. You say yes to the podcast. Okay, awesome. Matt, I added you on Snapchat. Did you guys add me on Snapchat? If you haven't added me on Snapchat, I gotta pull this up so I can point more correctly. There we go. If you haven't added me on Snapchat or Instagram, it's right here. And if you want to send me a message, you can send me a message, and I will do that. So, because yeah, it's just Snapchat and Instagram. This is, it's kind of fun. Talk to you guys. Literally, what I found myself doing now is whenever I'm in the gym, that's generally when I get a lot of the replying done for you guys. Because I'll do a set like yesterday. I was doing bench press. I do bench press, and then I sit up, and I reply to 2 or 3 of you guys. And then I do another set, and then I sit up, and then I reply to 2 or 3 of you guys. Or I'll be on the bike. So if I have a rest day and I'm not going to actually run, I'll just do a bike instead of running. Well, not instead of running, because it'll be on a rest day. So for like the 2 days of the week that I don't run, I'll just do a bike. And I'll just sit on there, and for like 30 minutes, I'll just go hardcore and try to reply to as many of you as I can. So, underscore void, yeah. What? Wardem89. Do you ever play Fronite? Not even sure what that is. Not even sure what that is. I should also probably do this. That might be helpful. Alright, that's good. That's good. Alright. Gosh, you guys are leaving a lot of comments. Oh my goodness. When will you do a face reveal? Right now. That's kind of funny. This is not working out. This is not working out. Let's do that. Crap. I got my dual monitors here, and it's kind of screwing with me right now. Alright, so I don't know if you remember, but I'm the girl who dropped her phone and it was mashed potatoes when you replied to me on Snapchat. Yes, I do remember. I remember a lot of you guys, but it's funny story. For the longest time, I didn't know you could save Snapchat messages on Snapchat, so I had to really try it. For those of you who messaged me like a long time ago, whenever I first opened up my Snapchats and I didn't know that you could save your Snapchat messages because I didn't really use Snapchat that much, I literally I tried really hard to remember your guys' stories and what we were talking about and stuff because you would forget. Do you need $100? I need $1 million. That bed doesn't look like basic because it's not. Also, the beds at basic training, or the sheets and the stuff, the blankets that you get, are super uncomfortable. How long did it take you to adjust back to normal after basic training? That, Victoria, is actually a really good question. That's something that nobody has ever asked. So props to all the people who ask original questions, because those are few and far between now, especially since I do these live streams. I see a lot of questions. But how long did it take me to adjust back? So I went to basic training and I went to AIT, and there was a total amount of time when I was in training for about 8 months. So I was gone for about 8 months, and when I got back, it was really weird at first. So when you go to basic and when you go to AIT, when you join the military, it's a whole nother world. And then when you have the chance to go home, like if you're in the National Guard, if you're in the reserves, you go back to civilian life for a while until you go back and you do your drills and all that stuff. And it definitely, I would say, took a couple of months before the feeling kind of wore off. I don't know if it was 3 months or 4 months or 2 months, but it was definitely more than a month. It was a couple of months that there was just this weird feeling, and I would wake up in the mornings and like forget, or like it would be weird because I would wake up and think I have to go down for PT or go do something, and it's the weirdest feeling. And then there's this feeling like the first time you see normal civilians. Like I remember the first time I went to a mall after basic training, because I graduated basic training and went to a mall off post, and seeing like normal people with their hairstyles and their clothes and all that. It's just like, it's really weird. And then you feel different yourself. Like you're walking around and you're thinking to yourself like, I'm a soldier and like these people don't know. It's like a weird thing. It's a weird feeling, but it definitely, I would say, took a couple of months for the weirdness of being home to wear off. So if you can ruck normally, I don't see why not. Gonna do 50 push-ups. Awesome. How long is basic training? 10 weeks, I believe. I believe it's 10 weeks. Could you sleep the first night of reception? If you go to Fort Benning, you're probably not going to have sleep the first night at reception. They're probably not going to let you sleep. If you do, you'll get like an hour. Whenever I was at reception at Fort Benning, we had about an hour of sleep, which was like not sleep, because we had an hour period where we could go to bed and then we had to wake back up and be ready. So it really wasn't that much. So if you are leaving for basic training soon and you're going to Fort Benning, try to get a good night's rest the night before, because you're not going to get any sleep, or if any, you're going to get one maximum of 2 hours that day. So, and reception is super boring, and they'll yell at you if you're going to sleep and you're nodding off and stuff. So, being tired at reception sucks. So make sure you get sleep the day before. Do I have any pets? No, I don't. I like dogs. Like my parents have pets and my other family members and stuff, but when you're single and there's nobody else here, I feel like would be a lot of work that I don't have time for. Come to Niagara Falls, New York, so we can hang. Niagara Falls, New York. I mean, I plan on visiting a couple different places, and whenever I do go to New York, like I'll definitely let you know, like, hey, I'll be here. Like, I don't expect really, honestly, anybody to come, unless, maybe you're like literally already there. But, I'll let you guys know if you follow me, on the socials. I'll probably post something on Snapchat, and you'll know on Snapchat, because, if I'm going to New York for the first time, you know what's going to be posted on social media, for sure. For sure. Will they keep you up for 3 days? I know the Marines do. No, they're not going to keep you up for 3 days, but, if the first night you don't get any sleep, the next night you might get like 3 hours of sleep. So, you're not going to be up for 3 days, but at the same time, you're going to get less sleep, and you're going to get less sleep in 4 days that you normally would in 1 day as a civilian or normal. No, I'm not. I'm in the Army Reserves. You should come to Washington. Washington is way over the other side. I'm over here. I don't know if this is reversed for y'all, but I'm over here. Washington is way over there. So, man. Matt, did you hear what happened, Lagwana? I don't know what word you're saying, Michael. Not sure. I might get a dog one day. Maybe. I would like to have a dog at some point. But, yeah. The Trumpster. If you go active duty, do you have any control over where you get stationed? Not initially. Not initially. But if you re-enlist, what they'll do at some point when you re-enlist is they'll let you pick like a top 3 post that you want to go to. So you do have a kind of say-so in that, but you're not guaranteed to get your number 1, 2, or 3 slot for that. So if you re-enlist, but when you first go active duty, no. Yes, for podcast. Okay, good. I talked about that before, so like if you watch the video over again, I'll talk about the podcast, and maybe I'll talk about it more later in the in this live stream. Do you have any guns? If so, what kind? Yes, I've got a shotgun, a pistol, and an AR-15. And my AR-15 is right above me right here. It is a Ruger AR-556. It is very similar to an M4, purposefully so. It's not a super expensive AR, but it is definitely really, really good for the money. And then I have a pistol, which is a 9mm PT Taurus PT 24/7. Also not very expensive. I got the pistol first. The shotgun is in my closet. So if you ever come here and try to rob me, you know my AR-15's up there. My pistol is generally on me, and the shotgun's in my closet. And that's just a 12 gauge that I actually won in a shooting competition whenever I was younger. I was probably like 14 or something whenever I won that shotgun. So New York City gun laws suck. Yeah, a lot of the big city gun laws sucks, but North Carolina gun laws do not suck. And I'm getting a phone call. Currently live streaming. Bam. Alright, so what do you do for a normal job? I am a software developer. So that's what I do for a normal job. So, have you ever been to Washington, D.C.? 3 times, I think? 3 times? I haven't been in a while, though. Fill up your water source and people peeing their pants. Anyway, I'm from Indiana and think I can handle the Georgia heat. Georgia heat is pretty bad. I just started. So anyways, any combat jobs as a reservist? No. If you want to have a combat job but you don't want to be active, then you're going to be looking at going active duty or National Guard, not active duty. So did they start issue out pink and greens? No. What is your opinion on our current president? It's not a negative one, but I mean I shouldn't talk about that. So it's not a negative one. Well, I mean, I didn't vote for Hillary, if that's what you're asking. What's up, Rebecca? How's it going? DoD is now changing all NBC, CBurn, do all testing in gas chamber. They are now going to use all NBC non-biological chemicals. Oh, really? I didn't know that, Michael. I did not know that. Hillary for prison. Oh, man. But yeah, so, also, I might do this. This probably isn't going to be a super long live stream. I just kind of wanted to get it out of the way. But, Luke, I'll get to you in a second. But, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, this is probably going to be a short live stream because I've had a lot of people wanting me to play Call of Duty. And I haven't played in a while. Like, since Call of Duty World War II first came out and I live streamed that. So, when this live stream's over, I'll cut it off and then start over a new live stream where I'm live streaming Call of Duty. We can still do questions and all that stuff, but I will be playing. I kind of want to just chill and relax tonight. So, but anyways, Luke's Trucking Life. Freaking ridiculous, bro. $10. Oh my goodness. Was it easier for you to get a concealed carry license as a soldier if you have one? No, I do have my concealed carry. The only benefit to that was I got a discount for the class, right? So that was the only thing. Initially, whenever I first joined, I thought that maybe it would be easier for soldiers to get a concealed carry. Maybe they have like a special permit, or maybe they don't have to take a class or whatnot. But you do not learn anything that really helps you with the concealed carry license or permit at basic training. Like, you're going to learn how to handle a rifle, and you're going to learn military rules and stuff like that. To get your concealed carry, you got to take a class. You got to deal with a pistol. You're not going to shoot a pistol at basic training. and there's a lot of like federal laws where you can go, where you can't go, where you can concealed carry, and all that stuff. So I thought it might have been easier, but it was really no different at all in North Carolina. Now, concealed carry laws are different depending on your state, but in North Carolina, it was not different. Killery for prison. No, I do have an opinion on Canada. What? I leave for basic on the 28th. Good luck. Good luck. I don't know how to pronounce your first name, but Ann Simmons, good luck to you. You should have a Twitch. I do have a Twitch, and I think the name is under Shoot'emUp89, but I don't want to like live stream or stuff on Twitch because, like, you know what YouTubers normally do. They'll post like a 30-second or 10-second video on YouTube and saying, hey, go to Twitch. I don't want to do that. I'd just rather live stream on YouTube and not divvy up things. Because if I do that, then people who maybe don't normally watch my live streams can watch them, and they can just check in, because it's just, people don't want to go to another website. They're already on YouTube, so just stay on YouTube. So, can you switch from reserves to active during your contract? Yes, you can. You have to fill out like a D368 something thing. You got to fill out some paperwork for that. Hey, Ann. Have I been to Canada? No. I've never been out of the country, for those of you who are curious. Have I ever been deployed? Have I ever been out of the country? No, I have not yet. I have not yet. DD368, I think. So, yes, you can switch from reserves to active. Can you get shoe soles when you go to basic? No, you cannot. When you go to the PX, there's literally, like, it'd be so much fun. Like, nobody would ever really watch it, but it would be like so much fun just to make like a 5-hour video talking about every little thing about basic training, my experiences, what every little thing is like. That would be really cool. And Luke is another freaking insane person. You're ridiculous, dude. But yeah, it'd be kind of fun to do that, because when you go to the PX at basic training, your drill sergeants won't let you get whatever you want. You can't get whatever you want. And I remember they didn't let us have insoles. That could just be at Fort Benning, but that was the case for us. On a completely different topic, says Luke's Truckin' Life, would you consider doing a video with Officer 401, assuming you've heard of him? I've never heard of him, and I would consider doing videos with a lot of people. I would really like to, like, if the opportunity presents itself, I really want to make videos with a lot of different people. I've got already a couple people planned out that can provide a different experience, right? So I was a 25 Bravo. I'm going to be a 25 Alpha. So those are two different MOSs that I have personal experience with. I've made a video with my brother who's a 13 Fox, and we've talked about his experience. And I want to make other videos with like the 68 series MOS, so like the medical series, like 68 Whiskey and all that stuff, 68 Uniform. I want to make videos with those kind of soldiers, those kind of people that can provide different aspects, different branches. I've got friends that are in the Navy and the Coast Guard and the Air Force. So I would really like for this channel to kind of be like a source of information for all that stuff, for people to want to, like, if you want to know what something is like, what any MOS is like, because I guarantee you guys, whatever MOS you have, I know you've Googled what is blank 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 MOS like what is that training like, what is an average day of that MOS like in the Army. And that's kind of what I want to have on this channel. Now, it's not going to be all the time, but you know, the more that I can do to help you guys out with that, to give you a better understanding. You know, Cav Scouts, you know, that's another big one that people ask me all the time. So Nava the Beast, what are you saying? Do a video with Nava the Beast? I've never talked to Nava before, so I don't know. I'm serious about the podcast help if you're interested. I put my email in a message on Instagram. Did you message me on Instagram? I haven't checked some of the... I seriously get a... It's kind of crazy. It's like a really good thing, but then it's like I feel bad at times because I can't reply to you guys as fast. But I get a lot of messages on social media, which is really cool. But I can't reply to everybody like the day of anymore, which is kind of sucky. If I do, it's just, you know, drip 46. Sprints. What are you guys talking about? So I've been working on cardio. Should I keep working on my stamina by going long jogs, or should I try and do more sprints to get ready for basic? I think you should do both. And the Trumpster, it depends on kind of how long you have until basic. If you've got, let's say, longer than 2 months, then you can incorporate both of those easily. Then, but let's say you don't have that long, then maybe you can incorporate one long run a week, and then the rest of them you can do 60 120s and stuff like that, where you can work on your sprintings and stuff. And Luke, stop it! Oh man. If you know multiple different languages, will you be forced into a different MOS even if I don't want to do an MOS specific to a language specialist? No, like if you know different MOSs, then, or if you know different languages, they're not going to force you to do anything. But if you're fluent in a certain language and it's a language that the Army needs, you can actually get paid extra for knowing those languages. So anyways. You guys don't know this, but Matt is secretly the person that designs nuclear weapons. Mr. Bacon 45445. I'm related to somebody who designs weapons of mass destruction. And I'm not even kidding. Pretty much every deadly weapon, like the railgun that you guys have heard of, I am related to somebody who has helped design all of that crap, which is really cool. Do you miss being enlisted? Kind of. The only reason, I mean, I think I will legitimately miss being enlisted because it's just different, and soldiers look at officers differently. Thank you, Ann. Love your live streams. I really appreciate that. And then Luke, just back to back. You guys, y'all are amazing. I just want you guys to know y'all are amazing, and I really appreciate that. And thank you for enjoying these live streams. Thank you. Sorry, didn't know how to phrase the last couple questions. You're fine, Luke. You are fine. But yeah, like being enlisted is literally, it's a lot different than being an officer. And then being a cadet right now, I'm not enlisted anymore. And it's just, it's different. And I guess I do miss it a little bit. Because like when you are an enlisted soldier, you know, if you're even an NCO, like there's just like this, you know, there's not as big of a barrier whenever a enlisted person or a lower enlisted person is talking to a higher NCO or something. Like, there's not as much, they, I guess, feel like they can talk to each other more. But then when you have an officer talking to an enlisted person, a lot of times it's just they don't connect as well because maybe the enlisted soldier doesn't feel like the officer knows what he's talking about. So, anyways, should I go officer or enlisted with a 4-year college degree and be a specialist? Officer or enlisted with, that's literally up to you. The thing that I would say is if you want to retire and like you would like the money, like the retired officer pay is pretty good, like really good compared to the enlisted, but it's literally up to you, and you kind of have to pick which personality type you are, what kind of leadership positions you want to be in and stuff like that. How long did it take you to get to cadet? That's not really like a thing. All you have to do is like sign a contract to be a cadet. So I mean, technically it didn't take that long, but once I graduated AIT and got home, I didn't contract as a cadet until last January. So it's January now till last January. So technically I've been a cadet for a year. Should I go to West Point? If you want to. I mean, if you can get into West Point and you want to be an officer, that's definitely, you're going to get some good training there, but you know, that's totally up to you. When you go to West Point, though, that's different than like ROTC and all that stuff. Like West Point is definitely different than ROTC, for sure. I'm more into 18 X-ray. Okay. What will help someone be motivated to work out for basic training? Something that should motivate you to work out before basic training is just know that every little bit that you run, every push-up that you do, every sit-up that you do, just every little thing that you do is going to make your life at basic training a lot easier. Because if you're not in good shape at basic training, your life is going to suck a lot more, right? It's already going to suck, but it's going to suck a lot more if you're not in shape. So hopefully that should motivate you, because like you're literally, by not working out today, you're making your time at basic training much harder. So, are you a Republican, Democrat, or other? Man, asking all these personal questions and stuff. But Republican. So, but I mean, I'll let you guys know that, because shouldn't be anything bad. Hey, from the hospital, Nerd Avoid. Are you really at the hospital right now? Is there any noticeable differences between officers who went OCS and those who went to West Point? I mean, I don't know if I could really compare, because I've seen the only officers, honestly, I haven't seen any lieutenants or anything that are from West Point, but the only officers that I've seen from West Point are literally like lieutenant colonels and stuff like that, and generals and stuff that I've talked to also. So I can't really compare the difference, but I mean, if you go to West Point, you're going to be a good officer. If you go to OCS or you do RTC, it doesn't guarantee that, but if you go to West Point, you're going to be pretty legit. Pretty legit. Luke's Trucking Life or RTC, yeah, like I said, like can't really compare. So it's too cold to run in New York City right now. Any other workouts that can help with that type of cardio? There's really nothing that you can do that's going to help you with your running. Like, yes, you can do other things, like you can like ride like the elliptical bike, or you can do an elliptical and stuff like, but that's really not going to help you with your run. A lot of people think it will, and it's really not. So what I do is I do run 5 to 6 times a week, and then on my rest days now I get on a bike or I do something else. I pretty much do a bike now because I can just reply to all you guys' Snapchats. But you know, if you're looking to do something that's not running to improve your run, that's probably not going to happen. So if it's cold where you live, try to find a treadmill, right? Try to find a treadmill. Try to find a Planet Fitness near you, because it's only $10 a month to go there. So, yeah. Thomas, why become an officer? Because, again, I've made several videos on this, but because it suits my personality and what I want to do much more. What are running workouts like? What do you mean you run? You can do different types of running workouts. So you can sprint. You can sprint and walk and sprint and walk. You can sprint and jog. Sprint and jog. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things. You can run in place. I guess. Run in place. I mean, but anyways. I mean, you just run. If you want to get better at running, I have a very basic opinion on all of this whole fitness stuff, right? So if you ask me for general advice, like, most people are not in crazy good shape, right? So most people are, honestly, most people aren't in super good shape. So if you want to know how to get better at push-ups, do push-ups. If you want to know how to get better at sit-ups, do sit-ups. If you want to know how to get better at running or faster at running, run, right? It's really not that complicated. If you want to lose weight, eat less calories than, you know, you're burning, and you're going to lose weight. It's just going to be a fact, right? You could eat, you know, McDonald's every day, but if you're exercising and you're burning more calories than you're eating, you're going to lose weight. So, you know, that's kind of my thought process on this. And it's not until you get more advanced and you really start getting down to things like, you know, where I'm at, I can't, you know, if I just run, I have to incorporate more intense runs to improve my run. Or if I want to get better at push-ups, I can't just do 100 push-ups a day. If I want to improve my push-ups, I need to do 300-400 push-ups a day plus, and really go after it. So, anyways, and I saw that pull-up video. I want to talk about that, or that pull-up question here in a second, but I want to talk about that because Luke keeps super chat donating. Have you heard of anyone getting a field promotion commission? has it happened at all since Congress last officially declared war? I have not heard of that. No, I have not. But anyways, I had somebody asked about pull-ups tips, and I love pull-ups. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you know I like pull-ups. One of the reasons I like pull-ups is because, you know, I guess for one, not a lot of people can do a lot of pull-ups, so it's kind of something cool. And then it's just like, I like body weight exercises and being able to lift your body up. And now I can do a one-arm chin-up, so I can lift my entire body up with one arm, which is pretty cool, from a dead hang. So I can be at a dead hang and pull myself up with one arm. So that's something that's really cool. But tips for being able to do more pull-ups: if you can't do any pull-ups, how can you do one? Then you're either going to have to utilize bands, to where you're going to be doing pull-ups and you're going to have bands on your feet and they're going to assist you up. You can use an assisted machine. But when I first started, literally what I did, because I literally remember this just like it was yesterday, when I first started doing pull-ups, I could usually do like 3 pull-ups, 4 pull-ups, maybe 5 pull-ups or whatever. But if you're trying to really improve, you want to do a lot. And what I did was I had same thing that I have right here, which is one of those door-mounted pull-up bars. And I would put my foot on the doorknob, and I would do pull-ups with my foot on the doorknob. So I was basically helping myself up. So if you want to get better, you know, you gotta have to have some kind of assistance on that, and then just literally just put in the time. Put in the time. I've helped a lot of people go from being able to do none, 1, 2 pull-ups to being able to do 10. It just takes a lot of time. How many pull-ups can I do? A lot. Pull-ups, I can probably do, like, pull-ups. I can probably, and whenever I talk about pull-ups, I'm talking about actual strict pull-ups. Like, go on my Instagram, and you'll see, like, I'm actually going all the way down and all the way up. And as far as pull-ups go, I might be able to maybe peak to 30. And then chin-ups, I could probably get, like, 32 or 33. I used to be able to do more, but I'm trying to work back on it. But nerd, avoid possible 3rd surgery. For what, bro? For what? Well, I'm sorry. I hope everything goes well. I know you said you were at the hospital, but yeah, I hope you get to feeling better and things get worked out. DCP Gaming. Matt, did you know that you could get ranked up before you even leave for basic by simply giving someone's info to a recruiter? And if they enlist, you get a rank, you can get to PFC. Yes, I do know that. I talked about that in my how to enlist in the Army at a higher rank. That is the most common thing. So depending on how many people you recruit, you know, you can get promoted more. How many pull-ups do you have to do to get into the Army? 0. You do not have to do pull-ups to get into the Army. That is not a requirement. When you're at reception, they're probably going to have you do a pull-up. And then at basic training, one of the PT exercises is the climbing drills. And in the climbing drills, you're going to have to do pull-ups, which if you can't do pull-ups, there'll be 2 people there to assist you. There'll be somebody holding your legs, and then there'll be somebody who's in front of you to make sure that you're not swaying and stuff. So you don't have to be able to do pull-ups to, you know, be in the Army, but you are going to have to at least do them. So nice. What are your thoughts on females in the military? I think, again, I made a video on it, but long story short, if she, you know, just like a male, if she can do the job, then she can do the job. So that's my opinion. If she can do the job, she can do the job. I think that they should raise standards across the board for some of the combat things. But yeah. Do I know anything about the MOS 88 mic? Yes, I do. My unit is full of 88 mics, so, and 88 Novembers, but I don't really know. What am I drinking? I'm actually drinking a Red Bull right now because I plan on being up for a while, so I know it's late, but Red Bull, sugar-free. I know it's bad. Hey, everybody, guess who's leaving for 1 station unit training? Brown. Guess you are. All right. Why don't they do pull-ups for the PT test? I don't know. I mean, I feel like it would be a really simple exercise. You know, you just go in. I feel like it should be simple. Like, it shouldn't be a lot. But, you know, I think that would be kind of cool. It's like, you know, maybe maxing the pull-ups for the PT test would be doing over 20 locked arm pull-ups where your chin goes above the bar, arms all the way down. And then just to pass, you only need to do 1, right? But I don't think, you know, it's that big of a deal. What about relationships, Jeremy? Do you know how long a workday is in 91 Bravo, or know anyone that's a 91 Bravo? No, but how long a workday is, you know, pretty much the same across the board. You're usually going to wake up in the mornings and go to PT. Maybe you get to PT. In the actual Army, you're probably going to get to PT at like 6:30 in the morning. You'll go home and you'll shower. And then you'll go home and you'll shower. And then basically you generally get off of work around 17 to 1800. So my question is, how imminent do you think Korean World War III is? I think it's going to be pretty soon. What's with, and Luke, you're killing me, bro. You're killing me. What's with soldiers and Red Bull? Haha, the soldiers and my recruiting officer were drinking that. Because you're just tired, and I've been working a lot. So, are relationship possible within the military with all the fraternization rules? Yes. So, a lot of people, you know, don't know this, right? Or they think that you can't date anybody in the military, you know, one of your peers or something like that, or you can't date somebody who's like a higher rank than you and whatnot. And you can. Having a relationship in the military is the same thing as normal stuff. It's just going to have a military twist on it. But you can have a relationship with an NCO if you're lower enlisted, but like they can't be in your chain of command. So if somebody's in your chain of command, you can't have a relationship with them. So, and that's the thing, because like that would be super biased. They might give you more promotions. They might give you more medals. They might give you the good jobs and whatnot. So, yeah. In the Army. And how often do I go to Fort Bragg? I'd love to meet you in person. I would too. But my brother, whenever he gets back from Afghanistan, he's stationed at Fort Bragg. And when he was there, I probably went over there at least once a month. I went to Fort Bragg. Fort Jackson is actually a little bit closer to me. So if I am going to go on a post somewhere for a reason, I'm probably going to go to Fort Jackson. But when my brother was at Fort Bragg, it was, you know, there. Do you have to do future soldiers training? I can't remember if it was mandatory or not. My recruiter made it seem like it was mandatory. But I do think it is a good idea. Even if you don't want to do it, I actually do think that the future soldiers training is a good idea. It is actually beneficial for you. Doing those trainings is actually going to help you at basic training. It's kind of crazy looking back now. Some of the stuff seems stupid. Some of the stuff seems simple. You know, even the same thing, even the simple stuff as like the rank structure. And you have to take that little quiz thing on the rank structure, make sure you know the rank structure. But all that stuff is going to help you at basic training. So, you know, whether it's required or not, I do think you should do it. It's not, my recruiter didn't even tell me about it. Yeah, like, I feel like they make it seem like it's required, but it's not. Like, they hound you on it. But like I said, like, you know, it will help you a lot, I think. Also, are you still going to do your gaming live stream? Yes. I'll probably start that in 15 minutes or so once I've done this live stream for an hour. I will cut this off. For those of you who don't know, my plan is right now, I haven't played Call of Duty in a while. I've played one game just before this just to make sure that it was working. But I do want to play some Call of Duty and kind of relax and whatnot. So, anyways, can join the military if I have already had a problem with bronchitis when I was younger. You should. What's the process of becoming an NCO? So to go from a lower enlisted to a non-commissioned officer, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go to basically freaking what's it called? You're basically going to have to go to BTL. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank on what the course is called. Basic Leadership Course, BLC. You got to go to BLC, and that is like a month-long thing that you have to go to, and they teach you how to be an NCO, and you learn certain things like that. And once you've done that, then you start working on filling out a packet, which is filling out a whole bunch of paperwork. You submit that packet. You also will have to go to a board, and you're basically going to have to go through an interview. And then once you get all that done, then you can be promoted to an NCO or E5. So it consists of some training, it consists of filling out paperwork, and it consists of a board. And if you don't know what an Army board is, I do actually plan on making a video more in depth on like kind of what that is and why it's a good thing maybe that you should do them. I'm going to bed, have to get up early and grind. See you, man. What is it? What's Longboarding, Virginia? What's your gaming channel? This one. I'm gonna live stream me playing Call of Duty on this channel. So this is it. Once you get a medical waiver for something, you can still be disqualified for that condition you got waived. I don't know if that statement or something doesn't make sense, or maybe I didn't read it right. But if you get a waiver for a medical condition, you're good. Like, it's waived. Like, you're good to go. So, you know. What are the chances of an engineer such as a welder in the military to be sent to the front lines during a deployment? Very low, and what a lot of people use as like front lines, like it's not like that anymore. Like your thought process of being sent to the front lines is not really how it works. So, hey man, I'm a 10th grader thinking about joining the Marine Corps. Any tips? Oh gosh, there's so many tips. Basically, get in shape. It is the most common thing, especially if you're going to the Marines as well. But get in shape. I don't know anything specific about their training, so but yeah. March to Success is a good site to use for study. Is there a site you recommend to use? Yeah, I mean, I didn't ever study for the ASVAB or anything like that, so anything that I would recommend would be like a second-hand recommendation. If you had ADHD, can you take Adderall like college, like for college? You're not going to be able to take any drugs. You're not going to be able to take that in the Army. So, I wonder, do you have a lot of smokers in basic training, and how do they perform? I mean, it's basically the same collection of normal people. So, like, the people who make up the Army are the people who make up the normal civilian world for the most part. So, you know, if 2 out of every 10 people smoke as a civilian, then 2 out of every 10 people smoke in the Army. And yes, of course, people who are smokers are going to have a disadvantage when it comes to running, but just because you smoke doesn't mean that you're going to be terrible at running, because there was several people in my platoon at AIT specifically, because you can smoke at AIT. There was several people that were great runners, and they smoked, and they would literally smoke a cigarette before a PT test, which I'm just like, they're like, oh, it opens up your lungs. And I'm like, I don't know, but it's definitely doing more bad than good. Anyways. Yeah. And they will do random drug tests and stuff like that, you know, especially at AIT. At basic training, they're not going to do like drug tests and stuff like that, because you really should have no way of getting anything like that. But they will when you first get there. But at AIT, they will do random like alcohol tests and random drug tests and stuff. So yeah. What's your gamer tag? Shoot 'em up 1993. Whenever I do the live stream, I'll put the gamer tag in the description. And what you guys can do is send me a message on Xbox, and you can ask to join, or my lobby is going to be open, or it's going to be public, so you guys can just join my lobby. So that will be totally fine. So, and then we can play either team deathmatch or domination or something. And by the way, before I get off of this stream, I want to reiterate on the podcast topic. If you didn't listen to me talk about it before, I'm thinking of starting a podcast. Don't know exactly when it's going to be, but I'm definitely thinking and contemplating on it, on doing it. Been thinking about it for a while. Basically, what it would be is me expanding. Oh my gosh, Luke. It'd be me expanding more on some of the topics that I talk about, some more fitness related topics, because a lot of the stuff that I do is audio anyway, so I feel like it would translate well to a podcast. And it's also something that I don't really know of anybody else doing, so I would like to be possibly one of the first people to do that, so that'd be really cool. Have you seen the military have any collaborations with auxiliary forces, Air Force to Civil Air Patrol? I mean, personally, I don't know if maybe in your specific situation or what you're talking about, but yes, I have seen and witnessed collaborations, but I haven't been like a part of anything with another branch, so I personally haven't, but I know it happens. They test for everything with drug tests. Yes. Is there any young people in reserves? I mean, you have to be 17 with your parents' permission, so that would be the youngest age. Matt, y'all should do one in the chamber. I'm going to play Call of Duty World War II. I don't think they have one in the chamber. I don't think so. CBD doesn't matter. It's unregulated and legal. Just doesn't. Matt, what does the Soldier's Creed mean to you? It means a lot. I could talk about that, but the Soldier's Creed and all of that stuff, the warrior ethos, you know, leadership, all that stuff, loyalty, duty, respect, like it is a lot of things. I actually take it seriously. Whenever I took an oath and all that stuff, like I actually take these things seriously. So like the Soldier's Creed to me means a lot, you know, and it is, the military has changed my life, my perspective, and the Soldier's Creed is a great representation of being a soldier if you live by that. So hardest thing at basic training, hardest thing at basic training, I would say, I mean, it wasn't, I don't know. I mean, there was several things that were like, there's a lot of things that were like equal difficulty. For me, when I went over the summer, just it being super hot at Fort Benning, compounded with everything, so that made it suck. Personally, I hate doing the ruck marches. I would rather run, but you can't run. So, I don't know what was really the hardest thing. I mean, I don't... Actually, I'll take... No. Because there's really nothing that's, like, super hard that you're really you're gonna fail. And I mean, for me, anyways, like, doing Nick at Night, which is where you're crawling, you're low crawling, and you got your weapon, and they're firing weapons over you, that was extremely tiring. That was literally the most tiring thing I've ever done. It is literally the most tired I've ever been doing Nick at Night. And again, if you don't know what Nick at Night is, it's something that you do at the end of basic training, which is where you crawl over a wall and you crawl under basically barbed wire, and they having little bombs going off next to you. They're underground, and the bombs blow up, the explosives, whatever they are, and you see the dirt shoot up right next to you, so it could be like right next to you. It's really loud. They got 240s shooting over your head, and you're crawling and you're crawling and you're crawling. The drill sergeants are yelling at you to go, and it's a long process because you're low crawling. You're low crawling, which means you're in the dirt, you're dragging your weapon, you're really low to the ground, and it was just extremely tiring. And there was a couple guys, I remember this one guy, he passed out or whatever afterwards, and then there was a couple other people who were casualties, but that was hard. And that was right before the 16K, the final ruck march. So for us, we did Nick at night. We went back to the barracks, had less than 10 minutes to shower because we had sand and stuff all over us, and then we got back out and we did our 16K ruck march. Question: Ben Barclay asked Barclay. I'm so bad at names. Asked what I would like answered as well. Is it hard being a Christian in the Army? The answer is no, but I'm sure it is hard for some people because it's again, the military is composed of normal civilians or ex-normal civilians. So being prosecuted, having issues and stuff like that, I mean, it's not like what it used to be in the military where people were made fun of all the time. It's definitely not like that anymore. So is it hard? I would say no. Definitely not at all. At least from my experience, from my brother's experience as well, it is not hard. But for example, my grandfather, funny story, my grandfather who is a pastor now, well, he just finished being a pastor because he's old, but he's a pastor now, but he used to be a guy who used to make fun of, he was in the Navy, and he used to make fun of and beat up on, you know, Christians and stuff like that. But that was like 60 years ago. That was how the military was 60 years ago. It's not like that anymore. So if you're worried about whatever religion you have, even if you're Muslim or something like that, or if you're Catholic or whatever, don't worry about it. So, any advice for a future MP? Not really anything different than anything else I would normally say. So, I don't want to answer that one. What is the name on Xbox One? Shoot 'em Up 1993. So, Shoot 'em Up 1993. And I think I'm going to finish the live stream here. Oops. But I'll come back in just a minute. And I should hopefully be able to live stream Call of Duty for you guys. So, explain a little bit more about ROTC. There's a lot. That's why I'm making videos on it. I do plan on making my part 2 video for ROTC, how to become an officer, next week. So, anyways. UNC or Duke? I like NC State. But if I had to pick UNC or Duke, I would probably pick UNC. So. But anyways, yes, it has been an hour. I'm going to now live stream Call of Duty. Thank you, Noah. So yeah, Cindy Lopez. I haven't seen your comments on here in a minute. But yeah, I think I'm going to live stream Call of Duty now. I'm going to get on. I'll pass on the gaming stuff. Because I listen to podcasts now. Yeah, I would like to. I definitely want to do a podcast. It's just going to be a matter of when, but I will let you guys know. I'll make a dedicated video to it. Also, follow me on Instagram and Snapchat if you want like updates on stuff. Whatever I'm doing, you know. How do you want us to join? If you want to, I'll explain this in a minute, but if you want to join me on Xbox, then you can just add me, or you can send me a message, tell me to play or whatever, or you can just join my lobby because I'm going to have an open lobby. So, anyways, I think that's going to be it for this, and I don't know, should be less than 10 minutes. I'll be back with the whole gaming setup stuff. So, anyways, I'll see you guys in just a minute.